and welcome to this yoga class for the new moon in Aquarius with me, Dee. New moons are often seen as a time to set intentions, and with this new moon being in the airy energy of Aquarius, we have the opportunity to tap into our sense of community along with our desires and wishes for ourselves and the collective's future. The zodiac sign of Aquarius rules the calves, ankles, shins, circulatory system, and is associated with the Muladhara or root chakra. With all this in mind, I've created today's 1-hour class, focusing on movements that will help ground and stabilize us, a mudra to bring harmony, a pranayama practice to cleanse our energetic bodies, and a guided meditation to embrace our hidden rebellion and connect more deeply with like-minded people that will help push us into our ideal reality. For this class, you may like to utilize blocks, a pillow or blanket to sit on, and anything else that you might need. When you're ready, hop into something comfy and we'll get started. To begin, let's find a comfortable seated position. This could be on your mat, sitting on a block, or stacking a pillow and blanket to sit on. If you find your knees are higher than your hips while sitting on the mat, you may consider sitting on something to bring the hips above the knees. Do what feels right for you. As you come to your chosen seated position, I invite you to straighten the spine and lengthen the neck. On an inhale, reach the crown of the head towards sky. On the exhale, ground down through your sit bones. When you're ready, interlace all your fingers together, pressing the palms to touch. Place the hands in your lap if it feels good. If you'd like, you can close down the eyes or have a soft gaze at a point a few inches in front of you. As you sit here in your version of Sukhasana, take note of the breath. Notice how it feels moving in and out of the nostrils. Notice the subtle movements the body makes as you breathe. As you begin to notice your breath, I'll give you a short explanation of the mudra we'll be practicing today. This mudra is from the yogic tradition and is called the Yoga Mudra. It translates from Sanskrit as the gesture of union, peace, and harmony. Each and every one of us are microcosms of the universe. We are interconnected and a reflection of the macrocosm. With this truth in mind, we practice this mudra to not only help us bring harmony to ourselves, but also to the rest of the universe. Continue to breathe naturally here for a few more breaths. Next, we'll practice a pranayam that will help balance the flow of prana or life force within and around the body. It's called the Nadi Shodhana pranayam, or alternate nostril breathing. There are many versions of this technique, but all require concentration on inhaling, holding, and exhaling through one nostril at a time. If you haven't already, I invite you to open the eyes to view my modeling of this breath technique. Using your dominant hand, I'll be using my right. Curl the index and middle finger toward the palm, leaving the ring, little finger, and thumb out straight. Gently place the thumb on the right nostril. If you're using your left hand, place it on the left nostril. Whichever nostril your thumb is on, make sure to close it with the thumb. Exhale out the open nostril, bringing the navel towards spine. Inhale through the same open nostril. Hold the breath for a moment. Bring the ring finger to the left nostril. If you're using your left hand, place the ring finger on the right, closing it. Exhale out the open nostril. Inhale through that same open nostril. Hold. Switch the fingers. Exhale out the other nostril. As you continue this Nadi Shodhana pranayam, I invite you to try to make the exhale longer than the inhale. Continue this breath technique at your own pace for a few more rounds. Upon your last exhale, release the controlled breath, allowing the hand to come to the thighs or lap. Take a moment here to notice how you feel. Notice if there are any changes since you first sat down for this practice. If the eyes are closed, you're welcome to allow them to gently open now. When you're ready to begin movement, I invite you to bring the bottoms of both feet to touch in front of you. You can grasp the feet, ankles, or the shins, wherever feels most comfortable for you in this moment. Inhale, reaching the crown of the head towards sky. Exhale, bend forward any amount that feels good. Breathe here in Baddha Konasana, or bound angle pose. On your next inhale, return to a neutral seated position with the head over heart and heart over pelvis. Exhale, reach the right foot straight out in front of you. With the right foot flexed, inhale, crown to sky. Exhale, bending forward any amount. The hands can be at the sides of the right leg on the mat. They can be reaching for the toes or for the feet. Take a moment here to breathe in Janu Sirsasana, or head to knee pose on the right. On your next exhale, come back to a neutral seated position. Head over heart, heart over pelvis. Shift the torso and hips toward the left, keeping the left knee bent. With the right foot flexed, inhale, crown to sky. Exhale, lean to the right, twisting your upper body to face forward, opening the chest. If it feels good, reach the left hand up and over toward the right foot. You can rest the right arm on the ground beside the knee if you like. If you comfortably can, grasp your right foot with both your hands. Do what feels right for you in this moment. If anything causes pain or strain, please get out of the pose so that you don't injure yourself. If it feels good, you can turn the head towards sky. Breathe in Parivrtta Janu Shirasana, or revolved head to knee pose. On your next exhale, come back to a neutral spine position, chest facing the front of the mat. Bring the bottom of the right foot back to touch with the left. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Exhale, reach your flexed left foot straight out in front of you. Inhale, crown to sky. Exhale, forward any amount, placing the hands wherever it feels good. Exhale back to the neutral spine position. Shift your hips and torso to the right side of the mat. Inhale, crown to sky. Exhale, lean towards your left and twist the upper body to the right, opening chest to sky. Inhale, reach right hand up and over towards your left foot. The left arm can be placed beside your knee, and if you'd like, you can reach both hands to grasp the foot. Don't forget to breathe. On your next exhale, release the pose, returning to a neutral spine facing the front of the mat. Now reach the right foot straight out in line with the left, both legs out in front of you. Inhale, crown to sky. Exhale, forward any amount, reaching for the toes, for the feet, or you can leave the hands on the mat at the sides of the legs. Breathe here in Paschimottanasana, or seated forward bend, for 3 breaths. On your last exhale, come to a neutral spine once more. When you're ready, make your way to hands and knees. Align the shoulders over the wrists and hips over the knees. Inhale, allow the belly to fall toward the earth as the tailbone and crown reach to sky. Exhale, arching the back, bringing the navel to spine, chin toward chest. Continue this Marjariyasana and Bitsalasana Vinyasa for 3 more rounds at your own pace. Inhaling belly toward earth. Exhaling, arching the back. On your last exhale, release the flow, coming to a neutral spine in Barmanasana or tabletop position. Forming a straight line from the head to tailbone, draw the navel towards the spine. Inhale, lift the right leg back off the earth, toes point down. If you'd like, you can add a balance challenge here by also raising the left hand forward off the earth. The leg, spine, neck, and arm form a straight line here, parallel to earth. Exhale, bring the elbow and knee to touch. Inhale, arm and leg go back out straight. Exhale, bring the elbow and knee trying to touch. Inhale, straight back out. Do this vinyasa for 3 more rounds at your own pace. You can always leave the arms on the earth if you'd prefer. Ask what your body needs in this moment. On your last exhale, release the left hand and right knee back to earth. We'll do the same thing on the opposite side now. Inhale, left foot straight back, right arm forward if you'd like. Exhale, bringing elbow and knee to touch. Inhale, hand and foot back out straight. Note that it's okay if the elbow and knee don't actually touch. Just do your best to bring them as close together as you can. Continue inhaling, legs out, exhaling, elbow and knee to touch. Practice this Barmanasana and Dandayamana Barmanasana Vinyasa flow for 3 more rounds at your own pace. On your last exhale, release the flow, coming back to tabletop or Barmanasana. Exhale, curl the toes under and reach the hips towards sky. Knees can be bent here as much as you like, reaching the heels toward earth. Take 2 more breaths here in Adho Mukha Shavasana or Downward Dog. On your next inhale, shift your weight to the left foot, lifting the right just slightly off the earth. Exhale the right foot between the hands, planting it flat on earth. Gently place the left knee down, and you can leave the hands on the earth here in Anjaneyasana or low lunge. Or if you'd like, on your next inhale, raise the chest up, placing the hands either on the thigh, the hips, or towards sky. Breathe. On your next exhale, place the hands on the mat if they aren't already there. Exhale, reach the right foot back in line with the left and reach the hips towards sky. Back into Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward dog. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, shift your weight to the right foot, raising the left slightly off earth. Exhale the left foot between the hands, placing it flat on the earth. Stay here or inhale, raising the chest up, placing the hands on the thigh, hips, or towards sky. Breathe in Anjaneyasana or low lunge on the left. On your next exhale, release the hands back to earth if they aren't already there. Inhale the right foot up to meet the left at the top of your mat, landing in Uttanasana or forward fold. Take your time here and be gentle with yourself. Once in forward fold, you can play around with having the feet hip-width apart or wider. Knees can be bent as much as you like. Allow the head and neck to relax. It may feel good here to try shaking the head yes and no. Exhale, bend the knees generously. Inhale, roll up the spine slowly, allowing the head and neck to come into alignment last. Hands can be hanging at the sides. Exhale, ground down into the feet. Inhale, reaching the crown towards sky. Inhale, reach arms towards sky. Exhale, bend the knees, sinking the hips down. Engage the core and aim to have the knee over or just above the toes. Ground down through your heels and draw the shoulders back and down. Breathe as you hold this Utkatasana or chair pose for 3 more breaths. Exhale, straighten the legs. Hinge at the hips, leaning chest forward, reaching the hands down to earth. Inhale, reach one foot back, and then the other, coming into Adho Mukha Shavasana or downward dog once more. Exhale, bring the hips in line with the head and legs into plank pose. Inhale, bend the elbows, keeping arms close to the body. Exhale, gently place the knees on the earth and bring the top half of the body down to earth. Inhale, reach crown to sky, drawing the shoulders down. Open the chest to the front of the mat and press your thighs into earth. Exhale, chest back down. Inhale, curl the toes under and reach hips to sky into Adho Mukha Shavasana. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, slowly walking the feet toward the front of the mat into Uttanasana or forward fold. Once you arrive in your forward fold, take a big inhale. And on the exhale, bend the knees, beginning to slowly roll up the spine into a standing position. Ensure your feet are hip width apart here. Head over heart, heart over pelvis. Inhale, place the hands on the hips. Exhale, find a non-moving point to gaze at in front of you. Inhale, shift your weight to the left leg. Exhale, engaging your core as you lift the right foot off the earth, any amount. You can place the ball of the right foot next to the left. You can place it on the calf or on the thigh. Continue to gaze at the non-moving point in front of you as you breathe and balance in Vrikshasana, or tree pose. You can always practice this pose near a wall, a sturdy chair, or table to help with balance. As you inhale, reach the crown to sky. As you exhale, ground down into the left foot. On your next inhale, slowly reach the right foot behind you, keeping it off the earth. Gaze shifts directly below you. Hold this balancing pose for just a moment. Exhale, gently place the right foot on the earth in a high lunge. Inhale, bring the right heel to earth, shifting the toes to a 45-degree angle. Exhale, bend into the left knee as you bring the arms out to the sides in a T formation. Inhale, reach crown to sky. Exhale a bit deeper into the lunge if it feels good. Gaze can be at the center of the left hand or the tips of the fingers. Breathe here in Virabhadrasana or Warrior Two. On your next exhale, release the hands to earth. Step the left foot back in line with the right. Reach the hips toward sky, pushing into the palms. Inhale, shift forward, bringing your shoulders over your wrists. Walk your toes back if needed to form a straight line with the body. Exhale, pushing into the palms, reaching hips to sky, into downward dog. Continue this Adho Mukha Shavasana, Kumbhakasana Vinyasa 2 more times at your own pace. Try to marry the breath with the movement. Inhaling to plank, exhaling to downward dog. The next time you're in plank pose, bend the elbows, keeping them close to the body. Bring yourself halfway down. Inhale, flip the toes over to the tops of the feet on the earth. Straighten the arms as you allow the hips to sink towards earth. Gaze can be towards sky if you like. Keep the shoulders over the wrists and away from the ears. Breathe here in Urdhva Mukha Shavasana or upward dog for 3 breaths. On your last exhale, curl the toes under, press into the palms, and raise the hips towards sky back into Adho Mukha Shavasana. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, square your hips and shift your weight to the left foot. Exhale, reach the right foot up towards sky, any amount that feels good. The left leg can still be bent here if you like. Draw the shoulder blades down your back. Exhale the right knee towards your chest, bringing the right foot between your hands. When you're ready, gently place the right ankle next to the left wrist and slowly lower the hips towards earth. Ensure your hips are square to the front of the mat. You can keep the chest lifted here, or if you'd like, exhale the chest toward earth. You may like to utilize a block here, placing it under the hip to help bring the earth up to you. Breathe here in Eka Pada Raja Kapotonasana, or pigeon pose on the right. On your next inhale, raise the chest to face the front of the mat if you're not already there. Exhale, push into the palms and raise the hips towards sky. Bring the right foot back in line with the left into downward dog. Inhale, shift your weight to the right foot. Exhale the left foot up towards sky, any amount that feels good. Breathe here in Ekapada Adho Mukha Shavasana, or one-legged downward dog. On your last exhale, reach the left knee toward chest and gently place the left foot between your hands. Inhale, bring the left ankle next to the right wrist. Exhale, hips down to earth. Use your block if needed. Stay with the chest lifted or exhale the chest down toward earth. Breathe. On your next inhale, raise the chest to face the front of your mat if you're not already there. Exhale the left foot back in line with the right, and gently come to hands and knees. When you're ready, reach the hips back towards the heels, coming into Balasana or Child's Pose. If you'd like, you can keep the knees wide and have the arms extending in front of you. Or you can keep the knees closed, bringing the arms to the sides. Find your preferred Balasana and take a few moments to rest. As you're ready, bring yourself back to tabletop. Once in position, inhale, reach your right foot towards sky, arch the back and look up. As you exhale, bring your chin towards your chest, bring your right knee towards your nose and round your back. Inhale, reach the right foot up. Exhale, round the back, chin and knee towards chest. Continue this vinyasa for a few more breaths. On your next exhale, release the flow, coming back to a stable or tabletop. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, raise your left foot towards sky, arching the back, looking up. Exhale, bring your chin towards your chest, left knee toward your nose, rounding the back. Continue this flow on the left now for a few more breaths. On your next exhale, release the flow, gently placing the left knee back on the earth. Inhale, exhale. When you're ready, spread your knees out to the sides, lowering your hips, positioning your shins parallel to the mat, toes pointing outward. Move your hips to form a 90-degree angle between your thighs and shins. Place your elbows onto the ground and lengthen your spine. If this Mandukasana or frog pose is too intense, you have two other options. One option is beginning laying on your stomach. Place the palms under your forehead to create a pillow. Draw your knees up to the sides, keeping the soles of your feet together. Try your best to keep the inner thighs touching the ground. Option 2, beginning on your stomach, slide the right knee up towards your hips until it reaches a 90-degree angle at your hip. Ensure your ankle is directly in line with your knee. Palms can be under the forehead or reaching out in front of you. Take a breath or two and then switch to do the same on the left leg. Whichever version of frog pose you chose, take 3 more breaths in this shape. As you're ready, straighten your legs out behind you. If you're not already there, you can make a pillow with your arms or palms, placing the forehead there. Or you can rest the arms at the sides. Relax your lower body and focus on your breath. As you're ready, make your way to standing at the top of your mat. Take your time in getting there. There is no rush. Bring your feet shoulder width apart. Turn your feet 45 degrees outward. Exhale the hips down into a squat. If the feet don't touch the earth, you can bring a folded blanket or towel underneath the heels. Or you can utilize a block by sitting on it. Press your heels into the earth and bring your palms together at heart center in Anjali Mudra. If it feels good, you can press your elbows against your inner thighs. Inhale, reach crown to sky. Exhale, the shoulders down and back. Take a few more breaths here in Malasana or Yogi Squat. On your next exhale, release the pose by gently coming down to your buttocks. Remove any props and come to a seated position with the legs bent, feet flat on the earth. As you're ready, begin to lean back. You can place your hands behind you if you like. Lift your legs and form a 90-degree angle between your torso and thighs. Engage your core and keep your spine and legs as straight as you can. However, if it feels better, you can absolutely have the knees bent. Ask your body what it needs from you today. You can keep the hands on the earth behind you, or you can wrap them around the back of the thighs, or even extend them forward parallel to the earth. Gaze is forward and slightly up towards sky. Take 3 more breaths here in Navasana, or boat pose. On your next exhale, release the pose by first bringing the feet flat to earth. Then, engaging the core, slowly allow the top half of the body to come down to earth. Inhale, legs out straight. Exhale out the mouth with a sigh if it feels good. Inhale the right knee towards chest. Grab a hold of the shin, squeezing it toward the chest as you roll the ankle one way and then the other. Inhale, right foot up to sky. You can either grab the back of the thigh, the calf, or reach to grab the first 2 toes. If none of these feel good, you can always utilize the strap here, wrapping one end around the foot and pulling on the other end. I invite you to point and flex the right foot as you breathe here. Exhale, bending the right knee and cross it over to the left side into a twist. Shoulders stay connected to earth, gaze toward the right. Arms can be straight out to the sides or bent at the elbows in a cactus shape. It may feel nice here to place a block under the right knee. Breathe. Exhale, releasing the twist. Straighten the leg back out in line with the left. We'll do the same thing on the left now. Inhale, left knee towards chest, grabbing a hold of the shin or any area that feels good. And as you breathe here, squeezing the leg close, I invite you to roll the ankle one way and then the other. Inhale, left foot to sky. Grab the thigh, the calf, toes, or use the strap. Point and flex the left foot as you breathe. Exhale, bend the left knee and cross it over to the left side into a twist. Shoulders connected to earth, gaze to the right. Exhale, release the twist. Inhale, hug both knees toward chest and reach the nose toward the knees. Squeeze your legs in this Pawanmuktasana, or wind relieving pose, as you breathe. If you like, you can sway side to side here. On your next exhale, release the pose, coming to your preferred Shavasana. That could look like a comfortable seated position or lying flat on your back, legs and arms sprawled out, any amount. You can also try Shavasana with knees bent, feet flat on the earth, walking the feet a little farther than hip width, and allow the knees to fall toward each other. Once you find your Shavasana, we'll take 3 deep breaths down into the belly together, exhaling out the mouth with a sigh. Together, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale, exhale. I invite you now to begin breathing naturally, without any need to control it. Take notice of the subtle movements your body makes as you breathe. Notice the air moving in and out of the nostrils. Gently shift your attention toward your ankles. Notice any sensations that arise there, or notice if nothing at all arises. Maybe you feel heat or a tingling sensation. Maybe there's tension or pain. There's no need to label what these sensations are. Just focus on connecting to the sensation or the lack thereof. Now shift your focus to the shins and calves. Take note of any sensations here. without judgment. Open yourself to your curiosity and just notice. I now invite you to shift your awareness to the tip of the tailbone. This is where the Muladhara or root chakra sits. This chakra forms the foundation of our survival instinct. When we take the time to notice what's going on in this area of the energetic body and clear away any blockages, we offer ourselves harmony and balance, creating a sense of ease, stability, and security. As you breathe naturally, notice this area of the body and any sensations that may arise. When you're ready, we are going to breathe into these spaces where we noticed any sensations. Whether you felt some in the ankles, the shins, calves, or anywhere else in the body. If you didn't notice any sensations at all, I invite you to focus on bringing the breath to those locations, the ankle, the shin, the calf, and the tailbone areas specifically. To breathe into these spaces, we will inhale through the nose, imagining the breath moving through the body to get to these spaces. Exhale out the nose or mouth, imagining the breath carrying with it all that no longer serves you. If you'd like, you can continue with using your natural breath for this exercise, or you can begin to lengthen the inhales and exhale. As you're ready, inhale down into the space where you felt sensation. Exhale all the blockages out. Inhale down into another area where there was sensation. Exhale the blockages out. Continue this practice for a few moments. Whenever you're ready, you can release that breath exercise, coming back to noticing the breath itself. Noticing how it's moving in and out of the nostrils naturally. When we find a sense of stability and security within ourselves, it provides a foundation for us to stand on. Feeling that our needs are met and we aren't in any danger, our survival instinct deactivates, resulting in many physical, mental, and emotional benefits. One of those being able to see how you are interconnected with everything around you. I invite you now to imagine your ideal reality. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Who do you see around you? As you imagine this ideal reality, notice what you're doing. Where are you? What are your hands doing? What are you speaking about? Now ask yourself, how can embracing my rebellious streak and connecting more deeply to like minded people push me into this ideal reality? Continue to breathe as you brainstorm on this question. As you're ready, take in a deep belly breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth with a sigh if it feels good. Begin to make small, gentle movements in the body. Maybe you start wiggling the fingers and toes, maybe doing some wrist or ankle rolls. Ask your body what it needs in this moment as you come back to your physical environment. You can bend the knees if you like, bringing the feet flat on the earth. On your next exhale, roll to your favorite side using your arm as a pillow. I invite you to take a moment here to express some gratitude for taking the time and space to move your body. Express gratitude for being able to move your body. And anything else that you might be grateful for today. As you're ready, place the top hand next to your chest on the earth. Exhale, push into the hand to raise yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Once you're seated, inhale, hands to sky. Exhale, bringing the palms together at heart center in Anjali Mudra. When you're ready, gently allow the eyes to flicker open. Gaze at your environment, noticing any shapes, colors, or textures. I thank you for joining me in this new moon in Aquarius yoga class. If you enjoyed this class, please like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. I encourage you to share in the comments how this practice landed for you, and if you'd like, what came up for you during this meditation. Happy new moon, y'all, and blessed be.